The 2026 Nations Championship is here, the inaugural first ever Nations Championship, and in this video I'm going to be giving my preview for the Wallabies, for Australia's rugby team, for their first 3 rounds of the Nations Championship for 2026. I am so excited for this Nations Championship, and I'm so excited to see the Wallabies play. I think they've got a very special group. I think there's some players that are finally, they were inexperienced players, and they're finally becoming those experienced guys that can lead a team, and I think this team can go very far in their home World Cup next year. I cannot wait for that. I really wish I could be there to watch some of the games. I've never seen a World Cup live before. I'm still going to try. I still have hope that I can somehow get there for even one of the games, but it doesn't look too bright right now. But still, I will be covering every single game for that on the channel, and I will be covering every single game, every single team here for the Nations Championship on this channel. So if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. I appreciate all the support. I haven't done too much Wallabies content before, which I don't know why. I actually know a lot about the Wallabies rugby. I follow the Super Rugby. I've always been a fan of Wallabies rugby. Obviously, I am a Springbok fan, but I am a neutral when it comes to all these games, kind of how I see it. I'm very unbiased in how I see it as well. So if you are a Wallabies fan, I'm going to be doing player ratings after the games, match reactions, match previews before the games, team selection reactions, as well as predicted lineups. I will be predicting the lineups as well coming out later this week. So that's going to be very fun. So if you do enjoy the content, hit the subscribe button and stick around. It's going to be very fun. So I'm just going to go over the team, go over some of the games, go over some of the players I'm excited to see, and just some of my expectations, or what I think the Wallabies expectations are for these first 3 rounds. So we'll go right into the team here. We'll start off with the forwards. They've gone for Alan Alaalatoa, Miles Amatasero, Angus Bell, Charlie Cale, Josh Canham, Nick Champion de Crispigny, Tom Hooper, Fraser McWright, Josh Nasser, Zane Nongor, Brandon Paenga Amosa, Billy Pollard, Aidan Ross, Lachlan Shaw, James Slipper, Carlo Tizzano, Taniela Tupou, Rob Valentini, Jeremy Williams, and Harry Wilson. That right there looks like a really solid forward pack. There's some really good forwards there, a lot of talent, a lot of different style of rugby players as well. There's a lot of guys that can just do the bruising physical battle there. There's some guys that are just really athletic, really explosive, and there's also some guys there that can do all the best of both worlds. They're good physically, they're very good with ball in hand, they're good with their skills, they're good playmakers as well, and very good explosive athletes. So I really do like this forward pack for the Wallabies. Obviously me, I'm a massive fan of guys like Tom Hooper, Fraser McWright, of course, Harry Wilson, Rob Ballatini, Taniela Tupou. I really do like those players, and we've been seeing them all get a lot better recently. And I think the one problem with the Wallabies recently has been we don't see enough, of course, Angus Bell as well. He's been awesome for Ulster this year. Unfortunately for him, he's now leaving Ulster, I think, at the end of the season. But he's had a really good year now, a year there now as well. And I think he would have learned a lot. And I think he will honestly be a better player from it. So some really good players here. But I think the problem is we haven't seen all those guys together consistently. There's been problems with injuries. There's been a lot of little things that have happened. Inconsistency with selection because of the injuries as well. And because of other stuff going on with Australia rugby. But if we can just see a lot of those guys consistently play together, I think the Wallabies will be able to get some really big results here. Now, obviously, looking at the backline, they have some phenomenal backline players, but the forward pack here for the Wallabies, it looks like the same type of players that we've seen over the last few years, which I think is a good thing. For other teams, I think that's a bad thing, especially if they are two older teams. Like, I was really glad to see that the Springboks didn't select the exact same team again, because the exact same squad of players, because some of these players are getting old. But for the Wallabies, I don't really see that. I see a few experienced guys, but I see those guys that were considered inexperienced players 2 years ago are now really experienced. They've beaten the Springboks in Johannesburg. They almost had a really good series with the British and Irish. Well, they did have a good series with the British and Irish Lions, but they almost got a few wins there. They almost snatched it away. If they won that second game, the third game they won, so it would have been an even closer series. And I think this team is building a lot more experience, especially with their forward pack, because that is the kind of engine room for this team, and they have some really good forwards, which I'm very excited to see going forward. Now we're going to the back line. They've gone for Jock Campbell, Filippo Dangunu, Ben Donaldson, Josh Fluke, Carter Gordon, Len Ikitau, Max Jorgensen, Ryan Lonergan, Tate McDermott, Declan Meredith, Hunter Paisami, Dylan Peach, Harry Potter, Joseph Akosu Suali'i, Kalani Thomas, Corey Toole, and Tom Wright. I mean, there's some really good players in that backline there. I mean, just look at some of those guys there. Len Ikitau, Max Jorgensen, Tom Wright, Suali'i as well, Hunter Paisami, some some phenomenal players there. I mean, looking at scrum half as well, Tate McDermott, Ryan Lonergan, there's some really good guys there. Filippo Dangunu, don't forget about him. He's a phenomenal player as well. So I think right now, what this Nations Championship is going to be about is getting their combinations settled, really figuring out and maybe playing around with some combinations as well and seeing who are the right guys to play in certain positions. Because I'm not even sure as a neutral that's been following this team for a while, who is their starting 10, who is their starting scrum half, who is their starting centre combination. I think Len Ikitau should be there, but is Joseph Suali'i really the answer at 13? Is he better at fullback? Would he be better on wing? Guys like Hunter Paisami as well, can you bring him in the 23? Because he's a really explosive, powerful player that can add a lot to this team. He can add a lot to this group. Do you play him in the number 23 jersey as a hybrid that can play centre or wing or different positions as well? Maybe you can, because I mean, a guy like Hunter Paisami, I think, needs to be in the squad. Maybe gets an unfair rap from some fans as well, but I think he's a very good player. But the whole moral of the story is that the backline there is really exciting, a lot of talent on show, and it probably will be a bit of a selection headache. I mean, if I just look at it right now, I think the only guys that really have a secure spot in the team from the backline, probably only Len Ikitau and Max Jorgensen, in my opinion. I think all the other spots are up for grabs before the World Cup next year, which I think will make it really exciting. Players playing competitively for positions. Looking at the depth, they've got some really good depth as well, so they will be training against each other at a very high level. It's not like if they put the second string team against the first team's going to destroy the second string team. It looks like they can get some really good preparation now as well for their games with a very strong squad. So for me, looking from the outside as a neutral, as a complete neutral here, unbiased, I'm excited for this squad. There's some really good guys. Dylan Peter was awesome last year. Harry Potter had some awesome games as well. I think a guy like Joseph Suali'i needs to pick up his game a little bit, because we saw what he did in that opening year. Haven't really seen it too much since. But guys like Mac Jorgensen, Len Ikitau, they've been phenomenal for a long time now. But I think they're between the likes of a Ben Donaldson and a Carter Gordon. What do you go with there? There's so many little selection headaches as well. And if you think of the forwards as well, I mean, you have guys like Rob Ballatini, Harry Wilson, Carlo Tizzano, who I think needs to be on the bench. He's a really good bench player for them. Tom Hooper as well. Lots of guys. I mean, Fraser McWright as well. There's so many good options in the squad, which I think really will help the squad going forward, and is a very positive sign of things to come. I mean, next year the World Cup is in Australia. Australia is going to be beaming with confidence for their home World Cup. I'm so excited for it. And I think this is a really good squad selected to kind of try build for that World Cup. Of course, they want to go 3 from 3 here, and I think honestly with this squad, they have the opportunity to go 3 from 3. They are playing games at home, and I've said this in previous videos as well. I do like that this is almost the reverse of the November series, the kind of November internationals. I always do like seeing different teams playing against a different team every single week, but now the Southern Hemisphere teams get all the home games and the other teams have to talk to us. So I think it's going to be really good for the Wallabies, really good for the Wallabies fans. I've been seeing the Wallabies fans have been excellent, selling out the stadiums really quickly as well. They are fully behind the hype before the World Cup, and I cannot wait for it. So they've got some really good games there, so we'll go through some of their games, starting off with Ireland. I think that is going to be an absolutely awesome game. I'm not going to give away my predictions yet. That video will be out next week. I also won't give away who I think will be starting, or who I think will be starting, because that's coming out later this week as well. So a lot more to come, so please hit the subscribe button. But that first game is going to be really fun. Ireland and the Wallabies have some weird games before. Wallabies always keep it close with Ireland. Of course, last year, guys like Mac Hansen really tore it up against the Wallabies. But at the end of the year, I thought the Wallabies were just maybe... They were worn down a bit from the British and Irish Lions series, from that rugby championship as well. They were a bit worn down. So I think right now they're playing Ireland. Ireland's going to be fresh and ready to go. Ireland's got a strong squad. This is a strong squad. Some guys just played in the Prem final. Other guys have been resting for a few weeks now because the Super Rugby teams didn't do too well. So I think that game's lining up to be an absolute banger of an opening match. So I think that's going to be a really good game to watch. I think it's going to be a very close game as well. Then of course the next week, France is coming to the hometown there in Australia. I think that's going to be a very good opportunity for the Wallabies to get one over France. Remember, France isn't bringing their strongest forward pack. Their backline that they are bringing is near their strongest without Ramos and Dupont, but I mean, you can't even make an excuse for that backline. They still got guys like Pinot, Yoram Mofana, Nicolas Deporté, Theo Atisogbe, Maxime Luku, all that, Nolan Lakarek, and all those guys. So I think backline for backline, it's going to be a very even battle, but I really do believe that Australia in the forwards can get the better of that France forward pack. I think that's where they can make the difference. And of course, when it comes to these world world-class backlines against each other. It just takes one out-of-this-world performance from a Ikitau, from a Max Jorgensen, from other guys as well to just completely tear the game open and set the tone to get that scoreboard pressure as well. So I think that France game as well, they have a very good chance. And of course, the last game against Italy, which has been a little bit of a bogey team for Australia recently. I think they've lost to Italy 2 years in a row now in Italy, so this is actually one that they can get back against Italy, and that's going to be a very fun one because they start, I say it all the time, but I will say it again, with like the UFC, like boxing, styles make fights, and I think Italy and the Wallabies have a really weird style where the Wallabies seem to struggle with Italy's style, and Italy seems to thrive against the Wallabies style, but other teams like South Africa, when it comes to that styles make fights, really struggle in general against the Wallabies as well. They always have. So just interesting how that does happen. I mean, that is going to be a very good game, and I think that is one that the Wallabies could get back. But remember, Italy's coming with a really powerful forward pack. I mean, you got some really good guys in that forward pack. Michel Lamoro, the Canone brothers as well, Fischetti in the forward pack. They got some really good guys there. Bortolomeo as well at hooker, some really good guys there. Andrea Zambonin. So I think the forward pack battle there is going to be really fun. And of course, that centre battle as well, whoever the Wallabies do choose versus the likes of Ignacio Breaks versus Tommaso Menoncello. Then you have Monty Ioane at the back with Louis Liner as well. I think that's going to be a really fun game to watch. But I do think the Wallabies have to aim for 3 from 3. Of course they do, but I think they won't be satisfied with anything that's not 3 from 3. I think the most difficult and most challenging game will be that Ireland game. Ireland have played together more recently than the Wallabies have, but I think the Wallabies will have that kind of self-confidence playing at home. It's never easy touring to Australia trying to get a win there, and I think that's what's going to make it so exciting, so special about these upcoming games. So I think that's going to be really fun. But the 5 players, I will say 5 players, I'm probably the most excited to see. I'll start off with Harry Wilson. He was the one guy last year that really stood out to me. I mean, this guy really stood out to me last year. He was the best number 8 in the world last year just by the rankings. He literally made the world dream team. I think him and Jasper Visser are going to have a good battle this year for that position, but no Kalen Doris this year for this series. So I think Harry Wilson will be the strongest 8 in that series. Another player, of course, I think will make a big impact, who I'm excited to see. Rob Valentini as well. I mean, we all know what Rob Valentini did as soon as he was back for the British and Irish Lions. Then, of course, you have a guy like Tom Hooper as well, who's been brilliant for Exeter Chiefs this year. And I mean, there's still guys like Carlo Tizzano as well, who I think is a really good bench player. They're looking at the backline, the guys I'm really excited to see there, Max Jorgensen and Len Ikitau. Those guys I'm really excited to see, and I think they're going to have an absolutely massive year. But let me know down below in the comments who you think is going to have a big year. Let me know who you are the most excited to see from this Wallabies team. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be absolutely awesome. But let me know what you think down below of the squad selected, of the games, your predictions for it as well, and who you think is going to start as well. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.